It's time for Call My Bluff.
Yes, it's time for Call My Bluff, and if you played Call My Bluff before or watched it on the television, you'll know that it's a quiz that's all about words. So here's how this is going to work. I've got 5 words that you may not have heard before and 3 definitions for each one. Now, out of the 3, one of them is correct and 2 of them are absolutely made up, and it's down to you on the wards and the guys in the studio to figure out which definition belongs to the word that I give you. So it'll all become apparent as we go. So if you listen on the ward, you've got your pen and scrap of paper. It's just A, B or C, and it's the same for the guys in the studio. So we'll see how we go. Okay, does that make sense? Are we ready to play the game?
Yes, we are.
Very much so.
Good. Okay, in that case then I think it's time for the first word. Okay, and the first word is cataglottism. So is a cataglottism French kissing or kissing using tongues? Bit saucy, isn't it? Or is it B, a lack of knowledge, a cataglottism, an ignorance or stupidity to something? You have a cataglottism to me, Mr. Conlon. Or is it C, the act of gargling or clearing the throat before singing, or sinking before singing? So the act of clearing your throat is cataglottism before you go out onto stage. So is it A, B or C? That's all you need to do. Just one answer. One of those is correct. The other one is, or the other 2 are incorrect. Okay, time for the second word now. Let's find out what it is. Okay, your second word is oculoplania. Oculoplania is the word. Is an oculoplania the science of telegraphic communications? Is it B, seeing only in black and white, seeing in an oculoplania vision? Or is it C, eyeing someone up and down to assess their beauty or charm, or assessing their oculoplania? So is it A, B or C once again? Only one can be right. 2 are absolutely made up. Okay, as we move on to word number 3. Hopefully you're keeping up. Okay, word number 3 is shabbaroon. Shabbaroon, but what is a shabbaroon? Is it A, badly dressed or uncouth man? A shabbaroon, he looks a right shabbaroon. Or is it B, an old-fashioned seasonal decoration for the dinner table, made from berries or fir cones? Can you please get the shabbaroon out of the pantry and put it onto the table? Or is it C, a shabbaroon, a type of long, thin cigar? Pass me the lighter, please. I need to light my shabbaroon. Is it A, B, or C? Only one's correct. It's down to you to decide as we hear the next word. Okay, Sciapodus. Sciapodus, but what is it? Does Sciapodus mean a class of tree with pitted seeds? Only Sciapodus type trees have those kinds of seeds. Or is it B? If somebody could be described as Sciapodus, they are described as having very large feet. Yes, this individual suffers from Sciapodus. They have large feet.
How do you spell it?
Not F-E-E-T. How do you spell Sciapodus?
You would, wouldn't you? It's S-C-I-A-P-O-D-O-U-S. Sciapodus. Okay, or is it C, the ability to do handstands and walk on your hands? That person can do Sciapodus, or they can be described as Sciapodus.
Can you repeat the first
Oh,
one, please?
flipping.
Now
Good
that you
Lord.
spelt it, I've got a different idea in my mind. Go on.
Just to recap, A was Sciapodus, a class of tree with pitted seeds, a tree that could be described as Sciapodus. Okay, there's 4 words down. We'll have one more. Don't forget, it's A, B or C. 1 is correct, 2 are incorrect. Let's find out what the next word is. Bumposifer. Okay, is a bumposifer an old-fashioned term for a phrenologist, or somebody who reads heads by feeling the bumps? So a phrenologist is somebody that reads somebody's head by feeling the bumps, and they are described as a bumposifer. I say, I must go and see the bumposifer. I am not feeling very well.
I don't know if I'd like that job.
Or is it B? Is it a type of green locust found in the deserts of Iran and Iraq, Oh dear, I appear to have been bitten by a pumposifer. Or is it C, an expert in the mining of tin? It appears there's a tin deposit here. Call the pumposifer and he'll tell us exactly where it is. So there are your 5 words. I'll just give you a quick reminder of what the words were. Cataglottism, we had oculoplania, shabaroon, skiapodus, and pumposifer. And if you didn't get all the definitions, don't worry, we're going to have a quick recap when we come back. The team in the studio, though, have you got 5 answers?
I've got 5 answers, but I haven't got any idea what's going on.
It'll be interesting to find out. Now,
You
can't say on hospital radio that we don't teach you anything, can you?
Hospital radio.
Without further ado, I think it's time that we had some answers for this week's Call My Bluff. Okay, so I'll give you the words again and I'll give you a brief definition. I won't go through the whole thing word for word again, but the first word, and don't forget A, B or C, one of them is correct. The first word was cataglottism. Is it French kissing or kissing using tongues? Was it B, a lack of knowledge, ignorance and stupidity, a cataglottism? Or is it the act of gargling and clearing one's throat before singing? Who shall I pick on first this evening? We'll start with Karen to my left. Did you put A, B or C?
And I put C, about gargling.
So you think it's gargling?
I did like the first one, to be honest.
They're all good definitions, aren't they? What about Edward? What did you put?
I've also gone with C.
You've gone with C. Brian?
I went with C. The epiglottis is in your throat, so...
Oh, listen to him.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and finally, Ruby.
C.
You all went with C. Congratulations, everyone. You're all wrong. The answer was actually A. A cataglottism is the act of French kissing or
Do you know
kissing
what? I nearly
using
put
tongues.
that because I did fancy that one as well.
It
but
would be that one.
yes,
we
never
don't-
mind.
We don't give Neely points, unfortunately. So if you got that up on the boards, give yourself 1 point. Right, let's move on to the next word. Okay, so the next word was oculoplania. And I'll just spell that for you, just in case you're interested. It was Oculoplania. Oculoplania. Was it A, the science of telegraphic communications and oculoplania communication? Was it B, seeing only in black and white? He can only see in oculoplania. Or was it C, eyeing someone up and down to assess their beauty or charm? And we'll go back the other way, so we'll start with Ruby.
B.
You went with B, seeing only in black and white. Brian?
I went with C.
You went with eyeing someone up and down to assess their beauty or charm.
I
Edward?
could just see him doing
I went
that.
with A.
You went with A, the science of telegraphic communications. And Karen?
I went with B, like Ruby.
Okay, well, I can reveal that somebody scored a point.
Oh, somebody, not some people. No, so it sounds
And it's
like
Brian.
Oh,
It was C, eyeing somebody up and down to assess their beauty.
Oculus is the eye, isn't it?
Oculoplania. So there you go. Now you know the meaning of that word. I bet you can't work it into conversation. Okay,
oh, I don't know.
let's go to the next word. Okay, the next word was shabaroon. Okay, so is shabaroon a badly dressed or uncouth man? Get that shabaroon out of here. Or was it B, an old-fashioned seasonal decoration for the dinner table made from berries or fir cones? Excuse me, the shabaroon is missing from the table. Or was it C, a type of long, thin cigar? Oh dear, I have run out of shabaroons. We'll start with Karen again.
Well, I went with B.
You think it's an old-fashioned seasonal decoration, Edward?
Complete guess. I've also said B.
Okay, you think it's B as well, Brian?
I went with A.
He thinks it's a badly dressed man or uncouth man. And Ruby?
C.
You think it's a type of long, thin cigar. Okay. He will do this, won't he? Brian, you're correct.
No
A
way.
shabaroon is a badly dressed or uncouth man. And the next word is a skiapodus. What is a skiapodus? Is it a class of tree with pitted C's, a skiapodus category tree? Is it B, having very large feet? One could be described as being skiapodus. Or is it C, the ability to do handstands and walk on your hands? That gentleman there, he is skiapodus. We'll start with Ruby again.
I went with A.
You think it's a class of tree with pitted seeds. Brian?
I went with B.
You think it's somebody that has large feet. What about Edward?
I've also said B.
Edward has gone with B. And Karen?
I've gone with C.
Karen's gone with C. Okay. There are points to give out. And they go to Edward and Brian because it's actually B. To describe someone as skiapodus
I'm not very
is
good
to describe
at
them
this.
as having very large feet. Okay, I wonder how you're doing up on the wards. Don't forget, it's out of 5, A, B, or C, as we go up to the last word.
I never was any good at English, you know.
Let's see if you can get this one. The final word was bumposopher. I'll just spell that for you. Bumposopher. Bumposopher. But what does bumposopher mean? Is it A, an old-fashioned term for a phrenologist? Someone who reads heads by feeling the bumps on them. I need to go and see the phrenologist. I really don't feel good. B, is it a type of green locust found in the deserts of Iran or Iraq? Do you know what? I could really do without these bumposophers biting me. Or C, an expert in the mining of tin. We know where the tin is, but where is it? We know where the tin is, but how do we get to it? We need to ask the bumposopher. Okay, we'll go back down again. We'll start with Karen.
Well, I went with A. I don't know why, but I went with A.
Someone who reads heads by feeling the bumps. Okay.
I know. I think that's sort of got me.
What about you, Edward? What do you think?
I've said C.
You've gone with an expert in the mining of tin, Brian.
Yes, I went with C as well. The middle one doesn't sound like an Arabic word. And,
Oh, you've been listening to Michael Bourne. It's never the middle one.
Okay, and Ruby?
I've gone with C.
You think it's an expert in the mining of tin as well? I can reveal that one person in the room is right, and it's A.
Ooh,
An
I got one.
old-fashioned term for a phrenologist. Someone who reads heads by feeling the bumps. And I dread to think what they could tell from reading my head. Anyway, that is Call My Bluff. There was 5 words there, and they all had 3 possible definitions. Only one of them was correct. Answering A, B, or C, you should now have a score out of 5. Does everyone have a score out of 5?
I do.
I do.
Good. Okay. Well, in that case, then we'll give away the answers and see who wins this evening's Call My Bluff very, very shortly. Let's see how you did up on the wards as well. Okay, let's take a quick look at the scores on the doors for this evening's Call My Bluff. We'll start with Karen. How's 5?
Well, I'm surprised myself, but I did actually get 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5, Edward.
A strong 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5, Brian.
A strong 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
way.
And Ruby.
I think I got 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5. Well, you all scored points, but this week's winner on Call My Bluff, it's Mr. Brian Coleman. Congratulations. This is ABC with When Smokey Sings.